Hey Matt, going back to last night and your reaction to what the Bucks and the Brewers did, what was the decision to cancel practice today? What was the plan for the rest of the day and also the plan for tomorrow?
Yeah, so I reached out to a couple of our guys last night, a couple coaches, and thought it was important this morning that we got the leadership committee together, and I could tell pretty quickly that there was a lot to be talked about. So what we did was, instead of having our normally scheduled offense and defensive meetings, we met as units on each side of the ball and got together, and then we came together as a team and talked about just things that we could potentially do moving forward to help you know make a significant change, because there are a lot of injustices out there right now, and that have I shouldn't say right now, that have been there for since the inception of this country, and certainly there's a lot of raw emotion that comes out in these meetings with players that come from different backgrounds, that come from different experiences, and it's they really pour their heart out there, and you feel for these guys, and just want to continue to listen and see what we can do to make a positive impact in this society.
Mark Daniels.
Matt, can you give us any ideas of what kind of ideas you guys are talking about to make such an impact? You guys, like the Brewers and Bucks are saying, we've been wearing shirts, we've been talking about this. Now we're taking a little different step, but where's the end result going to go?
Well, it's such a enormous issue, and I think sometimes when you look at it, it can be overwhelming. Especially, I can speak for myself in this matter. When you don't know as much as you would like to, or how you can make a significant impact, it does seem overwhelming. That's why you got to be willing to research and try to get information. So we are, and we've been talking about this for a while now as a team. And I think there are some things that we can do in the short term to continue to bring light to some of these issues. I was really proud of the video our guys put out, a while back. And just making sure that we use our platform to and use our voice to hopefully influence enough people to make those changes.
Olivia Reiner.
Hi, Matt. I saw a report earlier from the NFL Network that the team has decided that you'd be screening 13th later, and that you'd encourage your players to watch. How did you settle on that documentary?
Well, it's something that one of our coaches brought up this morning. I happened to watch it this summer myself, and it's it kind of blows your mind just in terms of how certain things are ran in our country, and in particular the prison system, how people can actually make money off it, and it's just certain laws that were passed, and so yeah, we it wasn't mandatory by any means, but for those that wanted to watch it, they're watching it now.
Rob Domofsky.
Matt, obviously this is all so much more important than football, but how do you balance what the important work that your guys are talking about doing with also the football aspect of it?
Yeah, I think that's a tough question. I mean, that's certainly something that we're trying to navigate through right now. We know at the end of the day that we have to play. We're going to play football, but to your point, this stuff that's going on is much greater than the game of football. I think our guys want to play, but at the same time, they want to focus some of their efforts on making society a better place. I mean, this is a humanity issue at the end of the day, more so than anything else.
Dave Schrader.
Matt, when you look at the messages your players are sending through their interactions in the meetings and through social media, how do you react? I'd like to read for you Adrian Amos's tweet today. I'm not here solely for your entertainment. I'm a black man. No, I won't shut up when it comes to my community and the problems we face as a whole. If that bothers you, then don't watch me, don't follow me, don't support me. If you are not here to help, then leave. I will be okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's real. And a lot of our players are feeling like that, and I 100% support what they're going through. And I just want to be a positive influence and use whatever I can do to help. Again, everybody should be treated equally, and it shouldn't matter where you come from, how much money you have, what your race is. It's problematic to me that, unfortunately, within our world, that not everybody sees it that way, and so we've got to do whatever we can to help change that. And I think it's not going to be easy. I mean, this is something that's been going on for years and years and years, and how do we change a way of thinking as a society?
Jason Wilde.
Matt, one quick logistical question. When you come together as an entire team based on social distancing, are you guys all able to be in the same room when you did that today? Or how did you do that? And then my greater question is, you got into coaching to not only coach this game, but to influence your players and make a difference in their lives. But this was not probably something you expected to deal with as a head coach. What has it been like for you to watch this unfold and see how your players have approached it? And what has it been like for you to be involved in it?
Yeah, well, first of all, to answer your first question, we were able to get together in our team room. We've got enough space to get everybody in there. But, this is not necessarily something that you can prepare for. But I think just if you have a good heart and you know right from wrong, and we all see a lot of stuff that's going on in the world that is not right, and people not getting the same opportunities or being treated or persecuted based on, the color of their skin, like that's not right. And so for me, it's easy to be able to stand up here and talk about what's not right. And when you see just the mistreatment that we all see today because of whether it's social media or whatever it is, there's just been so much exposure to all these negative events.
Matt Schneidman.
Matt, did you get the sense from your players that the emotion and feeling in that room is strong enough that this could be more than just a one-day thing where you guys take the attention away from football and focus on the more important things?
Yeah, I think it's something that we're going to continue to talk about on a daily basis, and we'll see where it goes. I don't think there's any roadmap right now to where it leads to. I just know that a lot of our guys, and myself included, are tired of the stuff that we see on a daily basis, and just want to try to help make the world a better place.
Bill Huber.
Hey, Maddie, first a quick yes or no question, and I'll has there been any talk of boycotting games? And then the larger question would be, and this is kind of along what Rob was asking, but once the regular season starts and time is really at a premium and you only have so many hours to get stuff done, how do you continue these conversations in September? Maybe you have some more wiggle room now, but obviously when the season starts, it's going to be a lot more challenging, I would think.
Yeah, that's something that I haven't really given a whole lot of thought to, and we're just playing it day by day. And It's not something that you necessarily prepare for. It's just what feels right in the moment. And right now, we've got a lot of guys in our locker room that are upset about a lot of different things that they see in the world and that they've experienced. And I can't emphasize that enough. I've said it before. I don't know what our players have gone through. I'm a white guy that hasn't been put in certain situations, but I continue to try to listen, and I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to help support just equal rights.
Tom Silverstein.
Hey, Matt. Do you feel that this was a protest on behalf of the players to not work today, or was there also a component of the emotional factor that they felt they couldn't work? I mean, do you think it was more protest or more reaction?
No, our guys never, not one guy said that they didn't want to practice today. That didn't even come up. It was more or less we were having some really long conversations, and I think when you feel that emotion in the room, it's hard to focus on football. It is emotionally draining for everybody in that room, and so I made the decision that, hey, we're not going to go today. I just didn't think it was right, and we'll see where we're at tomorrow when we reconvene.
Lance Allen.
Matt, like you said, there's just so much to think about right now. But whether it's today, tomorrow, or down the road, what is your hope, and what do you feel the players' hopes are at this point?
Well, there's so many hopes, but I think we're all hoping that some good can come out of all these conversations, and that we can see significant change in the world and in people's thinking, and how we treat one another is not only Americans but as humans, and I would say that's the hope.
Aaron Nagler.
Coach, you've talked a lot about your players, and obviously this is very player-led. I'm wondering, when you take an action like you did today with the canceling of practice, you are the only publicly owned franchise, so you're in a very unique spot. Would you be in support of something like the tailgate tour, which you guys already do, as a way to reach people throughout the state and beyond, of having your players go out and talk to fans face to face? Because as we've heard a couple times here today about social media reactions, that's instant and often vitriolic and ugly. I think the response would be really appreciated if they could get face to face, actually hear from players. Would that be something you'd be in support of?
Absolutely. I think anytime our guys have a chance to tell their story, and I think that's how you really come together as people, as you hear people's stories and their perspective, and kind of share their experiences with one another. I think where there's a great communication, it can bond you.
Mike Clemens.
So it's been 4 years since Colin Kaepernick took a knee during the anthem, and we saw the backlash there, and people who said they were going to stop watching football because of it. But there is a void for leadership, and there's fans that say, I just want you guys for football. I just want you guys for sports. Please just stick to sports. And Aaron didn't want to get into it, but at one point he said, you know what? Sports is closer to politics than you think. Is that stick to sports era over? Is this a new era where an athlete is not only just judged as a professional athlete, but also as a role model?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, I mean, we're all human, and people have emotions, and I don't think anybody, myself included, want to be defined by necessarily what our job is. So I just think that's kind of the mentality right now.
Lily Zhao.
Hey, Coach, just kind of a two-parter here. With what the Bucs started and the Brewers following suit, I'm curious if you guys have had any sort of conversations with those two teams at all? And on the other end here, I saw in Cleveland, the Cavs, the Browns, the Indians, they're forming kind of a sports alliance just to really talk about social injustice in their cities. I'm kind of curious if you would be in support of that with the Bucks and the Brewers, and if so, how you guys kind of start that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I know a couple of players from our team and the other two sports teams have been in communication, and so I'm encouraged that they'll form something together.
Steven Watson.
Hey, Matt, going back to Colin Kaepernick from 4 years ago, you were in the league as a coach then, and I would imagine you had a lot of conversations then with your players. Do the conversations today feel different? You mentioned the emotion being raw. Is that emotion different?
No, I think it was pretty emotional back then as well. It's not like this is a new thing. It's been exposed more and more and more. I think just what you see going on in society.
We'll do a few more. John Duran.
Hi, man. I was just wondering, we've talked about MLB postponing a few games last night, the Bucks sparking, the NBA postponing a few playoff games. Now, you guys joined some NFL teams that have canceled practice today, also the Lions earlier this week. But just now that you're part of this movement this week, what message do you hope to get across or to reach people as a whole by doing this?
One thing that we talked to our team about is just what's so great about our sport and the essence of team is you got a bunch of people from different backgrounds coming together in pursuit of a common goal. And if our society could emulate that or could see how we operate as a team, our world would be a much better place.
We'll do two more. Jason Wilde.
Hey, Matt, I would never ask you to betray what was actually the substance of the conversation with your guys, but can you give us a glimpse into maybe who the strongest voices were, or who the ones that really you heard from today that moved you and the other players, just so we can have a little bit of a feel for what it was like in there?
Well, there were so many players, and not only players, but coaches too, just sharing their experiences, and that it's hard to just pinpoint one particular person. I thought there was so much that was said in there, and so many just powerful stories. And I know a lot of our leaders had a lot of good stuff to say and a lot of great ideas on how we can attack this thing. And again, I think it's no different than when you approach a game. You got to put your plan together before you go play a game. You just don't go wing it. And so that's why I always want to be very cautious about divulging too much. And we are in the process of putting our plan together, and hopefully we can go out and execute that plan and see some significant changes in our society.
And last one, Ryan Wood.
Hey, Matt, just to clarify, has there been a decision made yet on whether or not to practice tomorrow? How will that decision be made if not? And I think it goes without saying that this is much bigger than football, but you do have a football game to play in 17 days. What is the plan for making up for what was lost on the field today going forward as well?
Yeah, we'll put a plan together, this afternoon and this evening, and we'll reconvene tomorrow as a group, and we'll see what the future holds.